to the continuous global shift from a traditional to a more technological and modern age, people have adapted to several changes that were brought about by this gradual shift. One would be the development of social media and the formation of virtual relationships. Through this, people have created ways to establish their own identity in this virtual world and make new connections through shared interests. Social media also gives us an opportunity to create a more public version of ourselves, contributing to the formation of our identity. As we connect and interact with others through social media, did we ever ponder if this person we are talking to may not be exactly the same as he is in real life? Or the possibility that this person's identity is just one of the thousands he has created in social media? Or that we, ourselves, may not have been entirely truthful either about our identities that are projected in those sites. This video will then focus on the impact of social media to identity formation specifically for adolescents.
How important is identity formation for adolescents?
Okay. So, adolescence kasi is a stage wherein a person in that stage are not anymore a child and not yet an adult. In two extreme stages, childhood, adulthood, nandito kayo. So, meron ka na kaagad premise na may kalituhan ka. Okay? Kasi, hindi ka na bata, hindi ka naman mature. And sometimes naman, students or adult or individual at this stage, act out lang, bata pa ako. I don't want to be getting involved in this, in this decision making kasi I'm still young. I'm not supposed to go there pa because I'm still young. So basically, experts would really look at this stage as very critical. And this is also a stage where formators, psychologists, teachers, faculty would emphasize the establishment of who you really are as a person. Okay? Kaya this is also a stage wherein all support coming from the family, your faculty, your advisors, and formators like us really work hand in hand to establish identity as a student or as a person. Kasi kung alam mo kung ano ka, kung ano yung sino ka within, you can never be influenced right away. Erickson na cohesive identity. So then, may really understanding within of what you want to do, what you want to do, na naka-base sa belief mo, sa trust mo as a person. Dito pa lang na-establish nyo. By the time that you go into early adulthood, established ka na. External factors like social media, for example, that includes different platforms, nakikita mo, lalo na ngayon, world of internet na. And also, hindi lang social media, but also, effect ng mga multicultural. In classroom, meron kang classmate na lumaki sa ganito, sa bahay nila, ganito ang kanilang culture. Sa community nila, ganito ang ganang culture. Sa previous school niya, ganito ang culture. Iba-iba kayo, pagdating niya sa classroom, diba? Tapos, may mga foreign students pa. So, talaga stage where kalituan happens. Kaya, eto din yung stage na you really have to know yourself. Explore mo. This is actually a self-exploratory stage. Kaya nga meron tayong identity versus role confusion. Are established in terms of who you are, paano mangyayari yun? So, maraming dapat supporters. And ikaw din as a person, dapat accepting ka din of the fact that who you really are. Ito ang kaya mong gawin, tatanggapin mo yun. Ito ang hindi mo kaya abilities and capabilities. So, may acceptance on your part, you will be more actualized. Parang gano'n. Doon papasok ang sinasabi ng feminist. No? Dapat, ngayon, when you are exploring who you really are, anong role mo as a person, kasi dito na-establish pa din yung mga needs mo, ano bang pangailangan mo as a person, ganun. Okay? Kaya maraming mga, may mga relating it to our office. Ganito, because lahat in kapag ang suot ko ay short skirt, o kaya diba? In ako kapag I go to Happy Thursday, diba? Kasi when an individual are not parang assured of person, madali kang mag-sway ba? Ma-pressure dito, punta ka dito. Pero kung establish sa'yo what you really wanna do, you are moving towards your determined self, what you wanna do. Not, ay kasi gusto nito, ay kasi gusto ng parents ko, ay kasi my friends are there, kasi, so, psychology. Ano yung ako? Social, what others want me to be. Kaya, psychosocial, meron siyang laging extremes. Me and others. So, kapag na-satisfy mo both needs and mas kasi establish yung self mo, establish yung psychology mo, you won't be swayed around or pressured around that easy.
Before discussing social media, there's also another theory which stresses the importance of identity formation. According to Abraham Maslow's theory of self-actualization, also known as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a person must undergo through 5 stages of needs, namely physiological, safety, love and belongingness, self-esteem, and self-actualization needs. Here, the goal is to meet the basic needs at the bottom of the pyramid, before moving up to satisfy higher level needs. In the end, the goal of a person is to satisfy the self-actualization need, wherein he realizes his full potential. In connection with Erik Erikson's theory, the issue of identity versus role confusion can be involved in the love and belongingness or self-esteem levels of the pyramid. While these needs can be found and satisfied through family, friends, and in society, social media can also be used as a channel to satisfy these needs.
Sabi mo, hindi Maslow, na you won't feel self-actualized if you are feeded by social media inputs. Diba? We have in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have to really feel your physical body first. Kasi yung security, diba? Security, emotions, so physically and security, secure mo muna siya. And hindi yun magbibigay ng social media. Okay? Kahit na sabihin mo na ang mga post doon satisfies you for that day, it will not feed you or it will not give you the best nutrients that will make your day. Di kasi, kapag hindi mo na fulfill yung physical needs and social needs mo of emotions or affirmations from others, you will not really feel that self-actualization or not be self-actualized. Okay?
In the year 2015, the Philippines had over 44.2 million internet users, with 90% having active social media accounts. This is because of the accessibility of social media through computers and phones. In the average, Filipino adolescents spend at least 6 hours a week online, while some of Filipino adolescents spend as much as 35 hours a week online. It is said that this certain pattern of internet and information technology use translates on how they build relationships. Social media is then related to adolescents' identity formation. According to research, there are a number of positive and negative aspects of using social media in relation to identity formation. On one side, adolescents may bring their life experiences to social media by using them to reshape and critique what they see and hear. For instance, adolescents could follow, like, and interact with pages and groups which are in line with their own beliefs and perspectives. Thus, there can be a constructive form of identity formation. On the other hand, having competing views and social agents in social media could make adolescents feel alienated. There's a great conflict and disparity between the views and perspectives media imposes on adolescents, thereby possibly influencing the thought of who they should be in today's society.
How do you think social media influences the development and formation of an adolescent's self-identity?
Social, eto ba? Mga Twitter ba to? Mga Facebook? Social media, di ba?
The common Facebook,
Okay.
Twitter.
Did you know, my perception of social media, it is a venue of ideal self. Nga, magpo-post ka ba ng tuyo ang kinakain mo? Di ba? Mostly, merong magpo-post ng tuyo. Pero, most of, di ba, uso ngayon yung food porn ba yun? Kasi kakain sila, ching, picture. Ang ganda kasi. It only talks about or tells the viewer ng picture na yun na I'm eating at, at this restaurant. Meron naman mag-selfie. Alam naman magka-pimple, pero kukunan pa nila yung pimple nila, tapos papakita. Tapos meron naman, I woke up like this. Okay? Ito yung mga normal scenario you see in a social media on a day after day. These are the day after day scenarios. You will see nag-tour. You will see posts like driving, diba? Na may new car siya, o kaya na traffic siya. May mga ganyan di ba? O what do you usually post? Yan. Pero, hindi lahat ng kabataan at your age thinks that way. Kaya nga, ito yung critical stage. Baka yung iba, hindi pa form yung identity sa kanila. Kaya, ang impact sa mga nakakakita o impact sa estudyante, gusto ko din. So, nade-develop mo yun. Ito yung stage din, adolescence, where you think that a lot of people, or almost all people are looking at you. Diba? This is the stage wherein maglakad ka ng feeling mo lahat nakatingin sa'yo. Kaya kapag maglakad ka, ayos dito, ayos doon, ayos dito, ayos doon, tapos even yung pagsubo mo ng ice cream, it's very significant because you think you won't be like them if you don't act like the way they expect you. So that's actually a conflict already between what you are really and what others are thinking of you or what others are expecting of you. Okay, diba? Kaka na anxieties or other negative feelings or negative emotions or low spirits. Yeah. Kasi you think you are disappointing them because of how the way you look or how the way you act. And in tunay na buhay, they're not their own selves. Kaya, kailangan ma-establish mo, ano ba talaga ang ikaw? Okay? So, this is really attractive in a sense that we see social media as our expression of what we desire of ourselves. Okay? It's an expression. Gusto ko ganito. I want others to look at me. This end of the day, it's not really a need. Okay? I see a lot of social media babies now very dependent on social media. At during the waking hours in the morning, yung kaagad. Ras din kaagad. Tapos yun, para ma-feel good sila in the morning, oops, may nag-like, gano'n, or kailangan i-like ko to. Parang ang formation of self and identity nila is also dependent on social media. So, if you will ask me, it is, for me, drastically, it influences how one's development of identity, de-establish ang identity. Okay? Kasi why do you usually sort to social media than talking with your siblings? Because maybe there's lack of communication at home. Dapat establish yung togetherness para these social medias are just not one that rules your life. but you rule them kasi you are more into personal connection.
Psychologist Edward Torrey Higgins developed a theory named the self-discrepancy theory. This states that people compare themselves to internalized standards called self-guides. The theory mentions three basic domains of self, namely actual self, ideal self, and ought self. The first domain, actual self, is the self-representation of the attributes you yourself actually possess. It is a perception of your own values and skills. The second domain, ideal self, is the representation of the attributes that you would want to possess. It is a representation of your hopes, aspirations, and wishes. The ideal self is said to motivate individuals, adolescent or not, to change and improve. The third domain, ought self, is the representation of the attributes that you should or ought to possess. It is a representation of you or someone's view on your duty, obligations, and responsibilities. To differentiate ideal self and ought self, we could use a hero figure as an example. There could be differences in his personal wishes, which represents his ideal self, in comparison to his sense of duty, which represents his ought self. However, there is a possibility that the different representations of the self would result in emotional discomfort. Self-discrepancy is then the gap between the self-representations. This can then be related to adolescents' identity confusion.
Kasi, self-discrepancy theory explains the connection between the self and affect. Diba? Affect, your emotions. Okay. How, the interplay between your self-belief and the expectations of others that will result to disappointments, ano pa ba? Anxiety, okay? That may result to depression or severe sadness. Or minsan, ang pinakamahirap sa self-discrepancy theory, kalaban mo yung sarili mo. Kaya nga, diba? Actual self, ideal self, ought self. Yung actual self mo, you have the ideal self also. Pag hindi mo na-meet yun, that results into all kinds of emotions. Diba? O may worries. Kasi eto lang, et ikaw, lahat, et ikaw. Ngayon, in terms of social media, sometimes we are posting what do you want ourselves to be. Okay? That perception of our ideal self, we want that because that's more appealing to others. And that's even more appealing to your status. It's not really actually your actual you, but the ideal me tells this. Pero in real drama, in real life actually, in the actual self, may mga mas maganda kung naggagawa mo yung ideal, but there are moments in life where hindi, you fell short. Doon na yung problematic na part. Problematic na part. That the social media are really placing on you, ano. Yun. Tapos, anong mapipil mo lalo? Ay, sayang, wala pa akong ganito, sayang, wala pa akong ganito. So, maraming disappointments in the end. And you feel more anxious. Sometimes, mapapressure ka. Sometimes, nag-alak mabuti. Maganda yan. Nag-alak mabuti. I will pursue this dream, and so on, so on. So, pero in terms of the ideal self, na ako, sana ganito, ako dapat ito. Pag hindi mo na-meet yun, it will result into anxiety.
What recommendations can you give to adolescents in using social media?
Seek support. That's the best possible. You don't think that you are an adult, na you can do it all alone. So, we are social beings, so we seek help, so we seek support. So do not play like you know everything, especially at this stage. So, in that sense, it will, humble yourself, and a lot of support will be given to you, and you will also find light and establishing who you really are. Okay? So,
So be very cautious in using social media kasi it's not the best way to form your identity.
kasi you become more dependent. Or if your dealings are in the social media, make sure that, that it will not control your life. Diba? Or control your identity as a person. Kasi lalo na, they're flashing around a lot of tempting posts o tempting videos. Andun na nga yung ibang commercial. Diba? May mga the good thing about social medias too, nagbibigay sila ng mga good things about yung mga psychological concept of, di ba, yung the Good Men Project. I don't know if you have this, and emotional, yung banking on emotions, mga ganun, or expressing the right emotions. May mga tips and tips. E paano kung yung iba na very much related to self-destructions, like partying, use of vices, diba? Maraming ganun, no? And it may appear when you're friends and when a lot of people, or especially ang daming dasalans that are going into this place and sobrang saya. Social media is a good medium of, it's really, I think, the best and effective medium to influence and persuade its viewer. Kaya nga, make it sure to make it on a positive light, like, if you want to reconnect with friends, okay siya. But having social media as your, daily meal that satisfies your needs, I think that's not even good. Alam niyo, swerte kayo sa Lasal yan. Sa St. John Baptist de La Salle always taught that discernment, because people who are self-actualized does a lot of reflection and discernment. And you at your young age, you are taught how to discern. Imprinted na yan pag lasalan kasi that's faith. Yeah? That's faith. Imprinted na yan. We decide not because of our emotions. We decide because of how we reflect on things and based on our discernment. And that is very spiritual. So that's it. Di lasal yan.